I would like to ask about the United States economic sanctions programs. These programs have been used, as you well know, to advance our national security interests, our foreign policy objectives, but they also have economic implications. And the most recent was the program against Russia in response to their invasion of Ukraine, where for once we got the support of all our allies. So my specific question is, would you strengthen or modify any of these economic sanctions programs, particularly Russia, including the pipeline you mentioned?
Well, it's a great question. The problem with what we have with sanctions, and I was a user of sanctions, but I put them on and take them off as quickly as possible because ultimately it kills your dollar and it kills everything the dollar represents, and we have to continue to have that be the world currency. I think it's important. I think it would be losing a war. If we lost the dollar as the world currency, I think that would be the equivalent of losing a war. That would make us a third world country, and we can't let it happen. So I use sanctions very powerfully against countries that deserve it, and then I take them off. Because look, you're losing Iran, you're losing Russia. China is out there trying to get their currency to be the dominant currency, as you know better than anybody. All of these things are happening. You're losing so many countries because there's so much conflict with all of these countries that you're going to lose that, and we can't lose that. So I want to use sanctions as little as possible.
However, Dmitry Medvedev, former Russian Prime Minister, in a Saturday Telegram message, stated that Donald Trump took offense at the current administration and threatens to lift sanctions against Russia. Will he lift them if elected? Of course not. Despite his apparent non-systemic nature, Trump is ultimately a systemic character. Yes, he is an extravagant, narcissistic type, but he is also a pragmatist. As a businessman, Trump understands that sanctions harm the dollar's dominance in the world. However, not so much as to stage a revolution in the U.S. and go against the anti-Russian line of the notorious deep state, which is much stronger than any Trump. And what about Harris? There are even less surprises to be expected from her. She is inexperienced and, as her enemies claim, simply stupid. They will prepare for her beautiful meaningless speeches and boring correct answers to questions, which she will read from a teleprompter. Laughing infectiously. Sanctions against the USSR existed throughout the 20th century. They returned in the 21st century on an unprecedented scale. Therefore, for all of us, sanctions will be forever, or rather see until the collapse of the United States during the inevitable new Civil War. After all, it is not for nothing that Hollywood makes films about it.